my god, the fish is moving. It's freaking got us all over.
No way.
These San Diego blue herons are hardcore.
That is crazy.
It did it! It freaking did it! Oh my god!
After enjoying our time in San Diego, it was time to go back to Catalina Island. Good old, beautiful, peaceful Catalina Island. If you've never been to Avalon before, here's the daily 5 o'clock ritual. It's always struck me as a little bit odd and even a little bit worrisome that everybody gets this excited for cocktail hour.
Hey Shane.
Hey.
Where are we going?
We're going on a hike. First to the Wrigley Memorial Gardens, and then hopefully to the other side of the island to the Palisades to go look at the, I guess it's the south coast of the island. I always think of it as the west, but California's just shaped weird, and so is Catalina. And then we're gonna come back and get some tacos and congratulate ourselves maybe with a beer and enjoy the Sunday. Yeah. And the Wrigley Memorial Gardens did not disappoint. It's a beautiful place, and there's a gorgeous trail that goes up to the ridge of the island where you can see both sides all from one location. We evidently left the cat inside for too long. He ran outside angry, found the most expensive line he could and started tearing it to pieces. So this one, $3 a foot, eh? Yeah? Oh, great to chew on, real good, tastes wonderful. He loves to do this every once in a while. Sunbathe / tear up the lines. In this next clip, this is a perfect example of an expert method of calling for dolphins. Here's the best at this I've ever seen. You get us those dolphin ear. What? Yeah. The wind's coming, that's for sure. Yeah, if we speed up, they'll get more interested in us.
Come on, guys.
Do you think we could tack soon? Unfortunately, no dolphin. They must have been deaf or something else wrong with them. I can't imagine they wouldn't have come to such a perfect dolphin call. But either way, we had a great afternoon of spinnaker flying. And after that, fishing. Oh no, he just put his head down. We can't keep the cat confined to the boat all the time, so when we get to a dock, we let him off the boat and he runs up and down the docks, jumps onto random boats. He gets so angry though if we tell him to get back on board the boat. Check this out. He just becomes entirely obstinate.
Go home. Go home, bud. Yeah, go home. Go home.
He's like, I don't want to.
Go home. Go
No.
home. Go home.
Don't make me.
Go
I said
home.
no.
Go home. Go home, Whiskey. Whiskey, go home. Go home. It's okay. Just go home. Oh, jeez, Whiskey, you got some razor blades on you. Come on, bud. Go home. It's like a kid at the beach.
Yeah.
Go home. No! Alright, I'm going in for the grab.
Okay.
Let's get it tethered. Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
A pissed off cat wasn't the only problem we had in leaving Marina Del Rey. About a quarter of the way from Marina Del Rey to Santa Cruz Island, we started smelling a strange sulfury smell, which we learned is the smell of gear oil.
But, okay, that makes me more comfortable running it.
Just add more?
No, not right now. I mean, it's between the marks. It's dead between the marks, so it's okay.
On our way to Santa Cruz Island, here's something we saw actually far too often. A bunch of balloons let fly and they land in the ocean. This is just to tell everybody, please don't let your balloons go. This is where they end up. After passing Anacapa Island, we arrived at Santa Cruz Island, and in particular, our anchorage, which would be Pelican Cove. As you can tell from the lighting, this is evidently God's chosen anchorage as well. In all seriousness, we had a great time here. It's very protected, and it's a very beautiful anchorage. Before leaving Santa Cruz Island to travel over to Santa Barbara, we decided that it was the right thing to do to add a little bit more gear oil to the sail drive. This is an extremely messy and challenging process with an SD40. We later hauled the boat out, only to discover that the sail drive had rotted away from lack of anodes from a previous owner. We replaced the sail drive with an SD60, but only after a really challenging time getting a hold of an SD60. Even though there's a number of boats in the world, catamarans having 2 of these, it's extremely hard to get a hold of one. There was one in Italy that nobody seemed to be able to load onto a pallet. There was one in Japan that for some reason would have taken a very long time to get to us. And there was one in transit in the Panama Canal. We're very thankful to our mechanic for getting us the one in transit, especially as liveaboards. This was a lifesaver to be able to only be out of the water for 6 weeks rather than to wait the possible 2 months or more to get an appropriate replacement sail drive. On our way from Santa Cruz Island to Santa Barbara, we saw a ton of dolphin. This is really likely due to Ira's professional dolphin calling skills, which works every single time, about 70% of the time. That said, within the Santa Barbara Channel, there is one of California's big superpod of dolphin. This summer, we saw hundreds of dolphin running along with seals and a couple of humpback whales as well. It's one of the most incredible things we've ever seen. If you've never been to the Santa Barbara Channel and seen the dolphin and whales there, I highly recommend it. After reaching Santa Barbara, we washed the boat down from bow to stern and from hull to mast. Remember, just because the mast is inconvenient to clean doesn't mean that you shouldn't clean it. It takes a good scrub every once in a while, and it'll be there for you when you need it. After all the cleaning, we finally left Santa Barbara early in the morning at daybreak to go out to Point Conception. We arrived at Point Conception about 5 hours later and saw Coho anchorage on the inside looking peaceful and beautiful, but unfortunately we couldn't stop. We had a timeline to make, and so we had to push on into 20 or 25 knots of wind around Point Conception, and though the swell looks relatively small here, except for a couple, it was a pretty rough ride the entire way up the coast. Here's daybreak along the Big Sur coastline. This is one of the most beautiful pieces of coastline to cruise, even if it is challenging. Here's a piece of bulk kelp hanging off of our rudder. It also gets wrapped around the propeller, making a terrible noise. We started calling it bullshit kelp by the end. After a challenging rounding of Point Sur, we finally made it to Monterey Bay. Here's my cousin Sean, and there I am in the background sunning myself after what felt like a very long passage north. While in Monterey, we stopped at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. One of their more famous exhibits is the jellyfish exhibit. These creatures are shown in a beautiful light and up close and personal so that you can see all the intricacies of their tentacles and all without getting stung. They also have a wonderful sushi exhibit. Tuna exhibit, as well as a number of other exhibits showing all the species that you're likely to find along the California coastline, and especially in the Northern California coastline. Even the cat saw some curious creatures. Here he is, wondering, what is this other cat doing in the water? Doesn't he know that it kills you? While Monterey Bay Aquarium is truly a sight to see, Monterey Bay as a whole is a wealth of life and different creatures that you're likely not to see on display anywhere else. After being in Monterey for close to a week, it was time to say goodbye.
Ominous.
These are evidently the welcome home horns of San Francisco Bay, welcoming you back into the cold embrace of Carl the Fog. We had about 5 knots of current going out the gate as we were trying to fight our way in. It's always an extraordinary sight to enter the Golden Gate and go underneath the bridge, even when it's foggy like this, and especially after being away for close to 4 months. After making our way under the bridge, we crossed the bay and headed home to our home slip in Point Richmond. I can say with certainty that as much as we loved the places we went to during the summer, there truly is no place like home. Thanks for watching this video of our trip from Southern California back home to the San Francisco Bay. We hope you enjoyed it.